My other question is maybe harder for me to ask or articulate, but it has to do with what I already know to be true as an adult, where you have to be responsible in my case, as a father of 3 children, as a partner, as a emergency physician where I deal with the public.
We're going to come back to the details, but we just want to stick this in first. To exercise and successfully accomplish your greatest, what you would call intentionality, more than responsibility, you have to be in sync with the energy that has power. So if you want to help someone, then help them hook up to their own current. Don't assume that you are the current. Assist them in hooking up to their own resources. Otherwise, you're depleted, and quickly, when you have as much responsibility as you have.
That makes sense. I'm also trying to learn how to balance my desire for satisfaction alone by myself in nature, gardening, for example, with the satisfaction I get during a very difficult, demanding job where I'm pulled in 50 different directions at once, and it depletes me as much as it makes me feel good for helping others.
What happens is, once you identify and isolate the feeling of satisfaction, and you do it where it's easier, where Esther went with a friend to a duck pond yesterday, and they sat there for hours and just enjoyed the naturalness of the environment and the satisfaction that the ducks and the geese were feeling. And there were hardly any people around at all. It was so easy to be in alignment under those conditions. We know what you're talking about. But the more opportunities you take to line up like that, then the easier it is for you to stay in alignment with all that's going on around you. Except, you know what happens? Instead of the satisfaction that often is easy to accomplish when you are alone, that satisfaction, because there's no resistance, moves into clarity and invincibility and power and dexterity and capability and tuned in, good timing. It's different than when you're by yourself. But alignment under those conditions, that feeling. Would you rather feel invincible or contented?
Contented.
It's a trick question. You fell right into it, and we're happy. You feel contented if your choice is overwhelmment and pressure, then of course you'd rather feel contented. But we ask, would you rather feel contented or alive and free and invincible and powerful and all-knowing and all-loving and empowered? Think about it.
Sounds pretty good. I think I want both.
We want that for you too, satisfied in all aspects of it. But if you are reaching for contentment over invincibility, it's because you're on the dark side of the moon, where you do feel responsible and overwhelmed and frustrated and depleted at times. Helpful?
Very much so.
So what's the next logical question?
How to balance my time and need for working on my different interests outside of the job.
Here's the thing that you don't know.
Need for money and security.
Such a good question. We talked right through it, but here it is. Really good question. Everyone sort of understands it. So here it is. All that you want, you have put bit by bit into your vibrational reality, into this beginning of all things that will be manifested. And the cooperative components have already been gathered for you. And so all the heavy lifting's already been done. Really, all you have to do is decide to be and accomplish a more chronic satisfaction. And all of that good timing will then begin to occur to you. Esther hears people, and sometimes she says that herself, all things to all people. Do I have to think of everything? And the answer to that is unequivocally no. You think of a scanty few things in relationship to what's going on your behalf. So if you can accept that the cooperative components have been gathered and that they are considerate of each other and cooperating with each other, and that you're the only holdout, and then as you reach for more satisfaction, you get drawn into that, then you begin to notice you've got good timing and that things unfold. You know the difference between hitting every red light and getting bogged down in traffic and then taking the wrong exit and then making a wrong decision and getting balled up in a parking lot, and then somebody has car trouble right in front of you, and then somebody else, there's a traffic accident, and then the policeman comes through and blocks the road, and you think, are you kidding me? Or when your timing is such that you get in the flow and you get right there, and you got there way before you thought you were going to. In other words, the universe is cooperative. The universe is as cooperative to you as you are cooperative to your cooperative components. And we just want to help you to know that your components are cooperative. If the universe feels hard to you, if things feel like they're jerky, it's because of the attention to jerkiness that you've been giving. When you become masterful of your life experience, and you certainly are, but you are relying on action as the factor rather than alignment, then you can figure out a lot of ways to be more productive with your action. And you can leverage your time, so to speak, and you can get people to help you. You can hire lots of people and put them in lots of the right places and so forth. But you can't control their mood. You can't control their relationship with their own life. There are so many factors that you have no control over, and that they actually don't seem to have any control over either, that when you turn all of that over to the cooperative vortex that's gathering the cooperative components, and you just let your relationship with that be what you're giving your attention to, you begin to realize how simple it all is. And that's one of the things that is most delightful as you make your reemergence into non-physical, and you realize how unnecessarily difficult you've been making so much of life. When you get that clear view and you see how much leverage you had all along, and how much leverage everybody else has too, and how much assistance and knowledge and well-being is being focused into being, it's that humorous moment in time where you suddenly get the irony of how hard you were working unnecessarily. Most of it's because, for most people, that you're looking for mutuality with others, and it seems like you need to demonstrate to those who haven't figured it out hard work. Or maybe you believe it takes hard work. It doesn't take hard work. It takes focus. And focus is not the hard work. Focus is the pointing. The hard work is the heavy lifting that the universe will do. It's like when you get in your car. If you were doing the hard work, you'd be pedaling. If you were doing the hard work, you'd be pushing those pistons or pulling those belts, and you're not doing the hard work. You're just pointing. You're deciding where you want to go and how fast you want to go there. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing in your creative work here. You're pointing. You're pointing and deciding how fast you want to go. You're not the engine. The engine is law of attraction, and the engine is source energy. The engine is the well-being that is certain. The engine is the promise of motion forward. The engine is the knowledge of the perfection of this evolving, infinite, eternal life experience. Something more specific?
No.
Just chill out. Chill out. Take it easy. You got to do your work. You got to do what you think you need to do. But in the process, while you're doing what you think you need to do more just being satisfied for no good reason. And watch how it begins to shift. Watch how the lever, that teetering fulcrum, begins to lean more in the direction of ease and flow and clarity and good timing. Yeah, really good. Enough?
No.